Initiating podcast download. Prepare yourself. Put on your spandex. Lace up your boots. Wrap your wrists. Hide your razor blade. Head to gorilla position. Grease up your hair. Apply baby oil. Okay, apply more baby oil. Get into gimmick. Keep your ears open and your mouth shut. Have fun and be safe out there, brother. Welcome to Iron on Wrestling. Now your host, Gregory Iron.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Iron on Wrestling with Gregory Iron. I'm your host, Gregory Iron, and this is episode 131. Motherfucker. Wow, so hardcore.
Pardon the inner, pardon the inner, pardon the interruption. Aaron Bauer is in La Plaza.
Okay.
Yep. And I'm getting festive.
Are you?
You ever been festive?
Yeah.
Yeah? You ever been festive with a cat?
I don't know what that means.
What, you ever get a cat and then it's under the blankets or it's on the top of the blankets and it takes its paws and it's rubbing the blanket and it looks like it's doing something naughty but it isn't, and you look at it and it goes meow.
No. You're just, come on, man. That never happened. There's no scenario in which that happened
That happens
to where you
all
would
the
say, have you ever had that happen to you?
Yeah. My cats used to do it all the time. I don't have them anymore, though. They've since passed on to greener pastures.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Remember that time you got fleas?
I did once get fleas from Johnny Gargano's cats.
I thought you were just going to say from Johnny Gargano.
No. No. Johnny Gargano's,
I know you guys have a close relationship.
Johnny
We don't need
Gargano's-
to know everything.
Johnny Gargano's cats once gave me fleas, and when I moved in with my girlfriend at that time, I then gave the fleas to her cat. And then every once in a while she would say to me, "Hey Greg, remember that time that you, a human being, had fleas and then you gave them to my cat?" And I said, "That's not my fault."
Meow, Kitty wants some fleas.
There were a couple cats in Johnny's house that did have fleas, and some had apparently got on some of my clothing or something. So
You probably slept with those cats next to you, nuzzled up.
I did not. They
Your arm was around it.
No, that didn't happen. But that's a true story. But that's not a question that anyone asked today, so I would have rather not have talked about that. Thank you
Well, that
very
was
much,
one that
Aaron.
I just wrote in.
Okay.
So we
Thank
got
you.
that one taken care of.
Thank you, Aaron from Cleveland. But today is a Q&A episode. We haven't done one in a little bit, and I figured this would be fun. And we got a lot of great questions today for this Q&A, both on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram. And I, of course, asked for these questions via my social media. However, I did tag the social media in which you can get unique content, up-to-date information on the podcast, rare photos, videos, and that would be at Iron on Wrestling on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So if you're not following those accounts already, you should. It's a good idea. And, of course, check out our YouTube page. Subscribe to that. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you download podcasts. Give us 5 stars on iTunes or whatever platform you wish to listen to podcasts on. Or if you really, really like the podcast, why not invest in patreon.com/irononwrestling, where you can get a buttload of bonus content starting at $3. And if you keep moving up the tiers to like $5, you'll get extra videos, including full-length events, rare events from independent wrestling promotions. $9, you get to pick bonus content, and, of course, get involved in the interactive Zoom call, which we have once a month. And, yeah, a lot of stuff in store in the future for the Patreon. We actually have packages coming out in December for people that have subscribed for $20 and up. So if you want to get in on that action, you better subscribe now or miss out.
You got to have some skin in the game.
Yeah, you do. I don't know what that means, but
You got to be part of it.
I've got skin.
Okay. And is it in the game? You get some skin in the game. You got to sign up. You got to be a Patreon member.
Is that like a foosball term? Skin in the game?
It could be whatever term you want it to be, Greg.
Okay. I'm more of a baseball guy.
How many
so
questions did you get?
I'm not going to count them, but we got a lot.
Okay, because, yeah, I got a few, too. So.
And I want to say these are some of the best questions we ever got, but also, of course, Patreon members, of course, get first dibs with their questions. So we will go to those first. However, did you get some unique questions from Patreon?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got some that were just sent to me. Are you ready for the first one?
Okay, who's it from?
Okay, this is from Undertaker Fan 666.
Okay, that's not Patreon.
And that's what they said that their name was.
On Patreon?
Yeah.
Never seen someone named Undertaker 666.
Undertaker Fan 666.
Gotcha.
And it's one says, this is one for Greg. How are you?
Is that the question?
Yes.
I'm good.
Okay. Well, we've already started off with a success.
Okay.
Oh, here's another one. This one is da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
No, you're making this up.
What? No, it says it right here.
No, these are not real questions, so we're not going to even humor this.
This is Juan of the Dead's friend at 1979. And he says, my balls are real hairy. What do I do?
Well, first of all, I don't think that's a real question or person. But second, you should invest in Manscaped. Manscaped.com. And you should use promo code PARDON, which we will talk about later in the show. Because they will definitely keep your balls hairless.
Mm.
Now, you lying sack of shit, let's first go to questions from Patreon. Because they get first dibs. If you're on Patreon, you ask a question when we do these Q&As, you will get your question answered for sure and first. So we're going to start with Eric. Eric says, let's say you, Aaron, Soul Taker, your girlfriend, Dad, and Zach Allen all went on vacation. Unfortunately, the plane crashes into a mountain. Bad news, you have to eat one of the group to survive. But good news, there is a gallon of Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce on the plane. So, Greg, who do you eat first? Well, what a question. I think this is easy.
Yeah.
My dad.
Oh. I wouldn't have went with that one.
Oh, yeah, I would.
Too much toxicity in his system.
I would because he is too old. He's fragile, so he'd be easy to take down and brutally murder in an effort to eat him. Yes, there probably would be, his lungs would not be good, for sure.
Well, you're not going to eat those.
Yeah, years of cigarette smoking just will not do you good. Yeah, I don't know.
I think I'd need to keep your dad around.
Why is that?
Because he's the only one out of the group that's like a real man. And when I say real man, like he would know how to like tie a knot or something like that, if need be.
That is a very
or use a pocket knife or something like that. So, if you needed like the plane rebuilt, the engine rebuilt, I bet your dad could figure it out.
No, I think in that situation, my dad would just he would have no will to live. I mean, he barely has will to live now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if we crashed into a mountain, he would just sort of give up completely.
Yeah.
Again, which would make it easier to just completely take him out. Like Zach Gowen has a lot to live for.
Mm-hmm.
He would want to go back and see his family.
Plus, he only got one leg.
I don't know what that has to do with his will to live.
Why would you want to eat him?
Well, yeah,
you don't got a full meal.
You're missing out on at least 60 to 70 pounds of meat with a leg missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a leg is a dark meat.
Very true. Soul Taker is much bigger, so there would be a lot more to eat. But I feel like with his strength, he could probably be a good gatherer for the group.
I'd eat Soul Taker.
You would eat? Why would you eat Soul Taker?
Because he'd come right back from the dead. He'd probably ascend to the heavens.
Okay.
Sit on a cloud for a minute. Jump back down when the time was right. Appear in a coffin.
Mm.
And you'd be like, where does coffin come from? And it's on fire, so that keeps you warm.
Very true.
Yeah. Soul Taker, I'd roast his ass.
I do
Barbecue.
imagine he has magic powers, much like Kane and the Undertaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we needed a bolt of lightning for some reason to start the fire, he could do that. I will not eat my girlfriend because I would like someone to cuddle with, and that is not going to be you, Aaron.
Oh.
So I will keep her around for cuddling purposes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, if we want to maybe
Procreate?
Well, I don't know if we're going to do that on a mountain.
That's the dream.
On a mountain?
Look at that mountain on
After
TV
a
right now.
plane crash?
Yeah.
I think
Imagine how hot that sex would be.
I think we probably want to figure out a way to get off the mountain.
I get off.
Okay.
Just watching you guys.
Well, we already figured out who you're going to eat, you fucking weirdo. So we're going to move on to Eric's other question. If you had an LJN action figure, what would your pose be? I think that's very easy. My pose would be right hand with the gimp hand down, left arm in the position of kind of out and then bent and then forward as if I was pulling a guy down for my finishing move, handicap parking. So because the LJN, obviously, they do not move. They're rubber. So that at least you can take my figure and execute my finishing move. I think that's an easy answer. What about you, Aaron?
I think I'd probably go with Tito Santana's pose.
What was that?
It was two flat palms out. Just down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because then you could just do anything. You could do a crossbody with that. Or he's kind of ready for a belly-to-belly suplex, maybe.
Sure.
You can make it look like that. I would do that. Or I always liked with the one muscle up, where you're making a muscle with one arm.
Macho Man or
Yeah.
Ventura.
Because then you could do the Rude Awakening that way. Or you can do a Taz Mission. Something like that, maybe. You slip that arm right up under the chin of your other figure. So, yeah, I'd go with one of those two. But now that I think about more leaning towards with making a muscle with one arm.
Okay. What outfit would you be wearing? What version of Aaron becomes an LJN figure? Is it commentary Aaron? Is it a throwback to your managing days when Rod was power bombing you on your neck?
Yeah, most of my time was spent in business suits. If I could do a business suit, but the jacket comes off, that means that means business.
Okay.
Yeah, business is picking up right there.
Sure.
I'd get that jacket right off of there. Yeah, and I want clip-on tie.
That would be a nice little accessory.
Yeah, because if somebody goes to choke me, then the tie just comes right off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. Good idea. Actually, that sort of segues into our next question on Patreon. Ryan
Wait,
Crosby,
did you answer?
Well, he asked this question, so I guess I will get to answer it now. Ryan Crosdalahala said, what gear would you choose to be immortalized in figure form? 2 choices if you need. And I'll say the second part of his question after this. I guess, figure form, can't change it. That's the gear that I am known for forever. It would have to be a pair of the blue gear, because I feel like that's what's sort of synonymous with the character. And I think I would pick the Ninja Turtle gear, because it sort of has everything that I love about my personality. You know, the Turtles and Bart Simpson. It shows my humor and has my name on it, and it's got handicap logos incorporated in it, and yeah, I think that works best for the character. I guess that's the
I'd probably go with that for you too.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's maybe most synonymous with Gregory Irons.
Iron.
You changed it.
Singular, not plural, despite Eddie only tweeting out that my name is Gregory Irons.
I was going off of what Eddie said because that's your partner. But, I do those, what were those pants you were wearing that time when you met Ronda Rousey and she loved them?
They were a pair of pajama pants.
Yes.
That were made for a girl, of course. They were greenish in color, and they had pretzels and popcorn and like a big gulp drink on it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, and maybe that then. I think that was always a good look for you.
I wore them once.
Yep. Or no, I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't put that 440 shirt on you. You'd be paying royalties.
That's very true. Yeah, I can't do that without the approval of the big man. So,
God?
No, definitely not God. Ryan's next question is: pick 3 bands you'd like to see tour together. Can be guilty pleasure or current likes, and what song would you want to sing on stage with them? Aaron, I'll let you go first.
Oh, you gotta give me a second here.
Okay.
Because he says bands, right?
I guess it could be performers in general.
Okay.
Is Sarah McLachlan going to be one of them?
I've seen her several times already in concert, so I'm gonna have to leave her off. I'm looking for acts that. Okay, so I've sworn off going to live shows anymore, concerts. Even like the smaller venues.
Why?
I don't want to be around people. There's too many people, too close, and so. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with Damien Rice.
Who?
Damien Rice.
Oh yeah, I remember. But he's not. He used to play for the San Francisco 49ers. He's not a singer.
No. That was Jerry Rice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Billy Joel. So,
really?
Yeah, Damien Rice, Billy Joel. I think Billy Joel. He's on my Mount Rushmore for songwriters.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a true thing. Maybe Eminem. Now, I have seen Eminem several times, but he was so good.
Yeah.
That I might be interested in that again. If I could swap out the current lead singer of Journey with Steve Perry, the original, Journey would be. I went and saw Journey 2 years ago. They were on with Def Leppard, which Def Leppard rocked, and Journey was great, except it just felt a little fraudulent because it wasn't the original.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
No, give me. You know what? Okay, swap out Eminem and give me Phil Collins.
You stole one of my choices.
Yeah, he's up
Son
there.
of a bitch.
He's up there on Mount Rushmore for me.
Okay, what song are you going to sing on stage with these performers?
I don't know. Maybe Real American.
Oh, you're going to pick a different song that they wouldn't normally sing.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Hey, that's fine. That's acceptable.
Okay.
I would pick Phil Collins for sure, and or Genesis. So I think that works. And I mean, I've always wanted to see Phil Collins. He's probably, he's very old. Not sure how much more time he has left. I don't want it to end up like a Tom Petty situation where I never get to see him. I would have saw Tom Petty if it wasn't for my horrible ex-girlfriend that told me, you can't afford to see Tom Petty. You've got to spend money on adult things. And then he fucking died. It was his last tour. So definitely Phil Collins. And I think I would like to sing You Can't Hurry Love with Phil Collins.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Very upbeat. I can just see us like
Snapping your fingers together
Oh,
in
yeah.
rhythmic motion.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, just yeah. I
It'd be
could see it
beautiful.
too.
Yep. Two other bands I really love, and I've never seen, Third Eyed Blind.
I've
And they
seen
have
'em.
a lot of songs that I believe we could sing together, but I feel like the one in which we would have to perform together would be Jumper. So I can think about,
I wish you would jump off of a ledge, my
no,
friend.
step off that ledge. You don't want them to jump
Why is it called Jumper?
because it's about a jumper, a potential jumper.
Yeah, but he doesn't jump.
Well, that's why he's singing the song.
I thought he was saying, I wish you would step off of the ledge, my friend. Stop being a bitch. Just do it. You know you're doing this for attention.
Okay, no, that's not what was said in the song.
Oh, okay.
But it also reminds me of the scene in Yes Man with Jim Carrey, because
Okay.
he does sing that song to get him off the ledge. And that bit was stolen by Dick Justice with Marion Fontaine
Yeah, that was a
in
good one.
AIW. And of course, this was back before streaming was a big thing and you could easily stream songs. And so Dick wanted to do that spot. And he said, if only someone had Jumper by Third Eye Blind, because this will shock you. There was no Wi-Fi in Turner's Hall in Cleveland.
Wow.
So no one could download the song. Traxler, who was running sound, did not have it on his thing because all he has is 2001 butt rock on his playlist.
Yeah.
It's always been that way since 2001. It will never change, and I'm kind of okay with that, honestly.
He's still got Napster.
I believe it.
Okay.
And so, of course, I looked at Dick Justin and said, if you don't think that I don't have Jumper on my phone right now, downloaded and ready to go, you are incorrect. And so I was the one that had to hit the music for that spot in the back. It's one of my proudest moments. So that would be the song that I would have to sing with Third Eye Blind. And I guess, for the teen in me, the angsty teen in me, I think I would have to go and see, not because I really want to, but because I feel like I'd have to. I'd have to go see Disturbed, and I would have to go on the stage with them.
With a Punisher shirt on?
I would wear a Punisher shirt, sure.
Okay.
A young Greg would wear a Punisher shirt,
Okay.
and just be like any other generic, unoriginal human being that currently wears a Punisher shirt. I would definitely have to do the laugh on stage with David Draymond, but also I would perform my buddy Steve Austin's song, and I would invite him also on the stage and sit him in a chair so I could sing his song to him. What do you think about that?
I love that version.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Steve Austin. That was his best version besides the original. Or I don't know if it was the original, but it was like version number 5 or something.
Yeah. Well, like they had like
just the glass with no.
Yeah, I get
words.
what you're saying, because he had a bunch of versions, but that was good. That was very good. I've often wanted to ask Steve, and if I ever have him on the show, I want to ask him, can you tell me the lyrics to that version of the song? Because I bet you he cannot.
Yeah.
So
He only came out to it like, I don't know, a handful of times before.
he came out to it. I don't know the exact time frame from Unforgiven 2000 all the way up to, I believe, Invasion 2001 was the last night he used it. I mean, not to get specific or anything. So that was like a solid 10 months. I'm pathetic. And moving on, Josh Excellence over on Patreon asks, who is your favorite Avenger and who's your favorite Justice League member? Well, for me, that answer is easy. Avenger, it's going to be Spider-Man. I always love Spider-Man. I'm looking forward to the Spider-Man movie coming out in December. And I've mentioned this to people on Patreon. I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast. I'm very much out of the Marvel Universe loop. I've been busy for the past 13 years, so I haven't gotten around to watching all the movies. Obviously, I was a big comic book fan as a kid. I'm currently catching up now because, fortunately for me, Nicole loves Marvel, so we've been sitting down and watching it, all the movies, these past few months, and Gargano keeps trying to get updates from me about how far I am. I'll have you know that I'm halfway through Iron Man 2, which means we are 3.5 movies in, so we clearly have a long way to go. I have seen other ones. We're just trying to watch them in order. But I've seen all the Spider-Man, so I love Spider-Man. Have not seen Avengers, so I need to see that. Justice League, again, easy answer. Batman. Just Batman all day long. Maybe those are generic answers, but those are my favorite. I always loved the Michael Keaton Batman. Obviously, I know Michael Keaton has not played Batman in these Justice League movies, but I'm a big Batman fan. Aaron, what are your picks?
If I'm going with an Avengers character, well, since I was a youngin', I always liked Captain America.
Why?
Because he was Captain America.
He's the most boring
He's American.
piece of shit ever.
He was my guy. I like the shield. I like the colors. I like the USA. Damn it!
I mean, I like the U.S.
These colors don't run.
All right. I mean, I watched the first Captain America movie, and I'm not a fan of it. However, I haven't seen Civil War, and I'm told by everyone Civil War is way, way better. So maybe I'll end up liking Captain America, but I just always thought as a kid, like, he was too old, and he was kind of lame.
Okay, so then I started watching these Avenger movies with my kids. Because I'm not a comic book guy at all. Although I do have the Silver Surfer #3, and I have some comics of Captain America from 1988,
Okay.
I believe. So I saved 3 comic books in my life, and those were the 3. So up until recently, when I started watching the Avenger movies, Captain America was my favorite. Thor has passed him immensely.
Because of that, the movie. Is that why?
He's in a movie? No, yeah, all the Thor movies are great. I think they're all my favorites.
I heard, what is it, Ragnarok?
Man.
It's the funniest.
Yes. So funny.
I got to check it out.
Yeah. We'll watch it together tonight.
I can't. I'm watching them in order with Nicole.
Cool.
Sorry. You know, she's currently at Disney
World or land?
World.
Oh.
With
Johnny?
No.
Oh.
There with her sister, Jess. You know her?
No, never heard of her. She's got a sister, huh?
Yeah, Jess. Twin sister.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, how come you haven't told me about this before?
You know about her.
Oh.
You claimed you were going to talk to her. You never did, and now you just lie and say that you talk to her all the time. You're forgetting about this?
Huh, I have no idea what you're talking about right now. You sound like a crazy man.
All right.
Oh, and then what's the other option?
Justice League.
Okay, I'm going to have to Google those guys.
Okay.
Justice.
It's DC. You don't know any DC comic book characters?
Batman, Flash, Superman,
Mm-hmm.
Aquaman, 20 more.
Anything?
Hold on. Ew. I guess Superman is cool. Batman's cool. When I was a kid.
Is Superman cool, though?
When I was a kid.
Remember
he blew the bowling ball so that the kid got a strike.
He blew what?
The bowling ball.
Oh. Okay, that doesn't seem cool. The only time I thought Superman was kind of cool was I would watch Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman.
Yeah.
But other than that, I feel like Superman.
Oh, what about that Lois?
Oh, yeah, Terry Hatcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a fox.
Okay, Shazam. I recently saw that movie.
Oh, the movie with Shaq. Yeah.
See, that's what I thought. And then it was this white
That's
dude.
Kazam. That's Kazam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not to be confused with the Genie movie featuring Sinbad.
Okay, but...
Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
No, you don't, because it doesn't exist.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the Mandela effect things.
Oh.
People think that there's a movie with Sinbad that came out in the 90s, but it doesn't exist, and people swear that it's a real thing.
Oh.
Did you know this?
No, I don't think so.
Do you know much of the Mandela effect?
Oh, I know the Mandela effect.
Do you believe in it?
Yeah.
I think so, too.
I do it all the time.
Like what?
I don't know. Let me see. Well, there's some things.
Mm-hmm. I will say that it's interesting to me that it's called the Mandela effect because of all the things that seems like it has been altered through time, like Berenstein Bears and Berenstein Bears or whatever. I never thought Nelson Mandela was dead, which is where it stems from. Like he was just in jail for a long time.
Yeah.
But I
think the rumor went around that he died in prison.
Yes, but he never did. So and people think like, time was altered.
See, but all I remember was him getting released from prison.
Same.
Yeah. How long was he in? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but I just know we learned about it in school, so I never thought that he died.
Right.
But everything else, when we talk about, again, Berenstein Bears or, in this case, or the Sinbad movie, there's a bunch of other examples. But, of course, if you don't know about the Mandela effect, I encourage you to look it up. Someone that really believes in the Mandela effect that I've talked with, Brian Kendrick. And, of course, he's a big conspiracy guy. You can see a lot of shoot stuffs, him and Paul London both, and shoot interviews just talking about all their wild and crazy theories on life. Very interesting. I miss Paul, by the way. I hope I get to see him real soon. We DM every now and then on Twitter, and I hope he's doing well. I haven't seen him in a couple of years now. Wow, time flies. Yeah. Anyways.
Nelson Mandela was in prison for 27 years.
Yeah, that's wild.
27 years.
And wasn't he
remained married to his wife, was released from prison, and then 2 weeks later was like, I can't do this, and they got divorced.
Oh, well, that's sad.
Yeah, but that just goes to show, you don't need to be with somebody all the time.
Well, maybe he
as soon as you are with somebody, then it's time to break up.
Maybe he fell in love with someone in prison.
Maybe,
possibly. So, did you pick your Justice League member?
Yeah, I said it was either Batman, Superman, or Shazam. So,
what does Shazam do? I don't even know.
I think he has a cape.
You think he has a cape?
Can't remember.
So you want?
I remember I liked the movie about a month ago or so.
Okay. So he's the one superhero with a cape.
No, I don't think he's one superhero with a cape. I think there's a lot that have a cape. But I'm not going to go with a Marvel or a DC as my all-time favorite superhero.
Okay.
I'll tell you who my all-time favorite is.
Go ahead.
The Greatest American Hero.
Who?
You never saw it?
Don't know who that is.
Okay. Well, we'll look him up and we'll watch him instead of Raw tonight.
Well, can you explain who he is for those that don't know?
Okay, he's a common man, a teacher, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some meteor or something crashed, and he got superpowers.
Oh.
But he has, super strength and all this kind of cool stuff. But when he flies, he never learned how to land. So when he lands, it's always in, a pile of steel trash cans.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's like when I started to learn to ride a bike without training wheels when I was 14.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. I was 14. And I couldn't... the bike I was learning on didn't have the brake on the pedals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The brake was on the right side, which of course is my bad hand, and I could not squeeze to press the brake, and so I would just run into things to stop, which eventually led to me being hit by a car because I thought I could beat the car. The car helped me stop. That's the positive. Yeah. Negative was hit by a car. So
that explains a lot.
There it is. And so the final question from Patreon, we put this up last second, so I didn't get a lot from the Patreon subscribers. Josh Excellence asks, F, marry, kill Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon, Hornswoggle McMahon. And so I think this one is easy for me as well.
Kill Swoggle.
100%, because no one likes a handicapped person, so he's dead.
He died.
He died. He's dead. I'm going to F Vince.
See, I think that's almost the way to go because he just seems like he's aggressive.
Yeah. I think I would like a little of aggression in the bedroom with Vince.
But I would rather marry him.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd marry Vince.
So you're going to F Shane?
Yeah.
I feel like I would marry Shane because it would just be like a strong, loving relationship. He could do
Vince is never home.
True.
That's what I look for in another person, in a companion for life.
Yeah, but I just...
Got lots of money. Probably not going to be around much longer.
Okay, that's morbid.
Well, you saw his performance with the golden egg.
Okay.
It's worth $100 million. $100 million golden egg. Find him for me. Find who stole the egg.
And then Shane, you see how he gets 30 seconds into the match. He's all red-faced and sucking up snot and stuff like that. So I wouldn't have to feel pressured to put on a marathon performance.
But you would have to put on that performance at least once. And you know what? If Shane gets really aggressive, especially because he's not in a committed relationship with you, so he doesn't care about you. Right. What if he starts throwing those jabs at you, dude?
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
You're okay with taking those jabs?
I'll take them.
He looks like a trained boxer when he's throwing those.
Yeah, that's all right.
A lot of accuracy.
Yeah, hit me with one, knock me out.
Come on, man. What if he gets up on on top of the house and jumps on you while you're banging?
Well, I'm banging who? Him?
Yeah.
And then he climbs to the... I'd love to see it.
Naked.
Yeah.
He just has...
Yeah, so I don't understand how you're trying... This is supposed to not convince me to be with Shane?
You want
Shane
that
is my... I believe could be my, lover.
Okay. Jesus. What a bunch of weird fucking answers. All right. Well, thanks for the questions on Patreon, but we're going to have to get to some of the questions.
Oh, I got one here.
What?
One last one from Patreon.
I don't think you do.
It's just for you. Greg, can you tell me what 7 times 3 is?
That is 21.
Okay. Well, that's it for me.
Who asked that?
Looks like Hector Calavito.
Okay.
Hector Calavito.
Not a person on Patreon. I know everyone on Patreon, and that's not one of them.
Well, that's their wrestling name.
Okay. Anyways, well, we're going to get to the questions from the people that asked on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But before we do that, we're going to go to some brief words from our sponsors. And when we come back, we will do as many questions as we can in the time allotted from you guys on social media. So stick around. We'll be back. Aaron, I want to be transparent with you.
Okay, you can tell me anything.
I know that Manscaped supplies us with free products. Okay?
Okay, I know that too.
And I want the audience to know that. And I know that we also get payment in exchange for talking about Manscaped.com. But I would not be talking about that if I didn't truly believe in what Manscaped does for me, not only physically, but mentally. Because we talk a lot about mental health on this podcast. And I got to tell you, when I look down and I see how beautiful my balls look thanks to Manscaped, mentally, I feel a lot better.
Yeah.
And I think my girlfriend, she feels a lot better about me too, you know what I'm saying? Huh?
What do you mean?
Because
Because what?
Because my balls are... They're looking mighty fine, you know?
What's she doing looking at them?
Well, why wouldn't I want to show my girlfriend my beautiful balls?
Well, you guys aren't, I'm
going to be honest with you. We couldn't wait till marriage.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We went against our religious beliefs. We did a little bit of Californication, if you catch my drift.
Oh.
But you know what?
Yeah.
I don't know if that would have happened if it wasn't for Manscaped. When we first started talking, Nicole and I, she said, first thing she said,
send me a picture of your balls, Greg.
That's what she said. And I said, that's a little inappropriate because I don't send penis pictures. And
but she asked for balls.
Well, once she clarified that, I said, you know what? I can send just some balls pics.
Yeah.
And she said, that's what I was looking for. A hairless man. Too many men out there are walking around with hair on their nuts. And over 70% of people prefer their partners to be shaven, she said. These were real messages. I'm
Right.
not making this up.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's been almost a year now, and the love is strong, and I'd like to thank Manscaped for that. Just being transparent. I mean, do you have a similar story that you could share like that?
Well, I just want to tell you that currently, I've been kind of busy lately, and I've kind of gotten behind. So, right now it looks like 2 kiwis down there. It's a little bit hairy.
I don't like to hear that.
Yeah. So, how do we rectify that?
Would you say rectify that?
Either way.
Well, I think you need to go to Manscaped and get some updated products. And listen, if you've gotten Manscaped products in the past, maybe you used to have the Lawnmower 3.0. I think it's time to update to the Lawnmower 4.0. It's got everything you need in a ball shaving tool. I mean, it's got an incredible motor. It's waterproof. I mean, and on top of the lawnmower itself, do you want to say something?
Well, there's a light.
There is a light. It's very important to have an LED light. So, if you have inadequate lighting, the lawnmower will give you the adequate light in which you need to illuminate your testicles. I mean, testicle illumination, very important. I mean,
It's real.
Very real. It's
Testicle Illuminati is out there.
Okay, and if you think that the lights on your house are bright this holiday season, the Lawnmower 4.0 is even brighter, and it's going to make your personality shine brighter because you'll walk around with the confidence of knowing that you are clean shaven and you haven't cut your balls anywheres. No nicks, no snags, your jingle balls.
So when she unwraps that package, what's she gonna get?
She can get whatever she wants at that point, but what she won't get is any hair down there. It doesn't matter if you've been naughty or nice. You need to go to manscaped.com and use promo code PARDON, PARDON, to invest in some nice products this holiday season, whether it be for yourself or another, and you'll get 20% off and free shipping. But don't just get the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0. You can also get the Weed Whacker for nose and ear hair. You can also get just get the whole damn performance package 4.0, because you're going to get the Weed Whacker, you're going to get the Lawnmower 4.0, you'll get the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, the Crop Reviver Ball Toner to maximize your ball hygiene routine. And of course, you get 2 free gifts, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Listen, the brothers, the dads, the uncles, even the aunts and the sisters. I mean, oh, wait, you don't want your sisters looking at your balls, right?
Step.
Well, I guess if it's Clueless, the movie Clueless, maybe.
Yeah.
Look, whatever you're into, things are going to get better when you go to manscaped.com, use promo code PARDON, and invest in some stuff from Manscaped. I think you'll thank us, and of course your balls will thank you. Do you agree with that statement, Aaron?
Wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I second that motion.
Make your holiday that much better with Manscaped. Okay, listen. This is the part where we talk about Juan Ortiz and Of the Dead Designs. And I'm being serious with you this week, Aaron.
Yes.
I need you to tell me about a scenario that doesn't involve fucking clouds or heaven or fishing poles or walking, because Juan Ortiz is a one-man merch design company that deserves better than your bullshit every week. Okay? He's created merch for wrestlers like Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair and the Young Bucks, people in WWE, AEW, ROH, Impact, New Japan Pro Wrestling. And he advertises with us, and he doesn't need your ridiculous bullshit each and every week on this show. So I want you to talk about something that just, it does the 15 years of experience he has in the industry justice. Okay? This man has sold shirts on Hot Topic, for Christ's sake. Aaron, be serious for once in your life. Give me a scenario in which you could go to Juan and purchase some sort of commission or t-shirt design that isn't fucking ridiculous. Please.
Okay. And I do have to preface this by apologizing to my good buddy Juan Ortiz from Of the Dead Designs. I've kind of kind of not taking it maybe as seriously as I should have.
Right. I agree.
When we read these.
I agree.
And I don't know. I kind of feel bad about that now. So it's the holiday season, and everybody gathers around the Christmas tree.
Right.
I'm thinking postcard, because there's still some lingering COVID effects, and you know a lot of family are not going to get together like they had 2 years ago and before that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the whole family, and they're gathered around a Christmas tree. Okay.
Okay.
The Christmas tree is propped on a cloud in heaven.
God damn it, dude.
Because COVID wiped everybody out in this family.
What?
Huh?
Thank you.
So,
I think you just got a package from Amazon, dude.
yeah.
You can't even let the fucking Amazon person is being unprofessional, interrupting our live read here.
I know. This is unlandish. So, back to being serious.
No,
We're
you're
on
not,
this cloud.
You're not being serious.
What? And there's a Christmas tree, and there's people around it. And we put the little baby Juan in a manger.
Why is he a baby now?
The little baby Juan. Like years ago when he was like first born.
Okay.
Juan is in the manger.
In heaven?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Because that's where he was created.
oh,
Before he was beamed down to earth.
beamed.
Yeah. to draw.
Okay.
To be an artist.
That's
for,
his
for
sole
all of us.
purpose. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Everybody's got a purpose in life.
Sure.
Mine's this fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Yours is failing miserably at becoming a professional wrestler. And never
You think you're real funny, don't you?
never being able to take a hint that you're not wanted in this business.
I fucking hate you so much.
So
Continue.
there's 8-pound, 12-ounce baby Juan.
Very specific.
And he's in the manger, and the 3 wise men approach him. Do you know the 3 wise men?
No.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Okay.
But those are only their given names. Their nicknames. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Atticus Cogar. Eddie Only.
Mm-hmm.
And Bobby Beverly.
Those are their nicknames.
Those are their wrestling names.
Oh, okay.
Because the wise men also wrestle.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So they've come in and they brought frankincense, myrrh, and the other thing. Gold.
All right.
Yeah. And they're dropping all kinds of knowledge. I mean, think of a world where Bobby Beverly is considered a wise man.
This is all in one picture.
Yeah, this is on a postcard.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah. And also, surrounding the baby Juan is there's an alpaca, because they're in a barn because the hotel was shut down for the night. So they had to go to this barn.
There's hotels and barns in heaven on a cloud.
Right.
Okay.
Not on a cloud. It takes like a fleet of clouds.
Sure.
And he's also there with his mother, the Virgin Mary.
Wait, that's Juan's mother?
Isn't she everyone's mother?
Okay.
Okay. So there's Mary pretending to be this virgin. I mean, well, And then her significant other was like, hey, this is real crazy. We had this baby, and I never even put it in you.
Boy, okay.
I don't know how that happened, Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
So then an argument ensues.
Oh, no.
Yeah, baby Juan, El Nino, he says. He says, stop arguing, man.
Oh, why is he Cuban?
He's not That's the catch here.
Mm.
Okay? He's not Cuban, B. He likes Cuban sandwiches. And you and I are in charge of making them.
We're in heaven too.
Just for this time.
Juan's
We'll come back to Earth.
Juan's a baby,
We'll be
but
beamed
we're,
down.
We're adults.
Well, yeah, heaven has, no, there's no sense of time.
Okay.
Because it's eternity.
I got you.
Yeah.
Is this it?
You're only on a 24-hour pass, though. It's like from, in jail. Like you get your work pass in jail. You get to go to work for like
you
8
wrapping
hours.
this up anytime soon, please, for the love of God.
So order from Juan.
Okay.
He's a good buddy.
So that's the postcard idea. And I'm sure you could have a much better and sane idea than Aaron, whether it be for a t-shirt design, a postcard, just for a family, friend, or loved one. You can get something very nice designed by Juan Ortiz. And I know, even though I mentioned that he's done artwork for Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair and the Young Bucks and so many others, you're probably thinking, how can I afford Juan? Well, you can. Even with your holiday season budget, you can afford Juan Ortiz because he has great competitive prices and will help you save even more money this holiday season, because if you mention Iron on Wrestling, Juan will knock off $10 just for you. That's right, $10. So go find Juan right now. Contact him on Instagram at ofthedead209, on Facebook at facebook.com/ofthedeaddesigns, or go to his website, ofthedead.weebly.com, because Of the Dead Designs is bringing artwork to life.
And might I add, Juan will not tease you with your tease design, because he is Juan of the Ortiz.
All right, then. And we are back after roughly 15 minutes of ads. We apologize for that. But you know what? The feedback that we get is that you can't even skip over the ads on this podcast because it gets so ridiculous. You and your fucking cloud bullshit every time, Aaron. It's
That wasn't even the story I had saved up in my head.
yeah,
I have a different one. You want to do another commercial? real
nope,
quick?
sure don't. But
You don't have that time to burn?
we love our sponsors, and I think because we're so ridiculous with the live read, that's what helps us with the renewals from Manscaped and from Juan. So anyways, no more ads. Right now, we're going to do a little bit of a bonus for patreon.com/irononwrestling. We don't really have anything planned specifically for this bonus. Aaron said he's just going to throw some stuff at me, and I hope it doesn't hurt, because I'm very fragile, and I did wrestle this weekend, and so I would like to be pain-free. But we'll see how it goes, and yeah, I guess let's get to it right now. Patreon.com/irononwrestling. If you are not on patreon.com/irononwrestling, you missed us talk for about 20-ish, 25 minutes about a bunch of random stuff, including the Mandela effect, and got a little weird at times, but it was fun nonetheless. So if you want to hear exactly what we talked about, sign up for just $3. And, well, ugh. Jesus, why do I do this? Sign up for $3, and you can get a follow back on social media from Aaron and I, and, of course, a buttload of bonus content. Patreon.com/irononwrestling. I promise you won't regret signing up. It'll be fun for you, and you'll want to quickly get on board while you can. In fact, we want to welcome one of our latest subscribers to Patreon this past week, Noah. Noah, thanks for signing up. We appreciate you, man. Hope you're digging the content. Thanks for signing up at the $5 level. And there's so many levels you can sign up for. But enough about Patreon. Let's go back to the
Hey, Noah, how you doing?
Okay. Yeah, he can't respond to you, but I'm sure he's doing well. Before we go to the social media questions that we got on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, we actually had one more come in late over on Patreon from Mitch.
Mitch.
And Mitch wants to know, what is our Mount Rushmore of Adam Sandler films? Good question, Mitch. Aaron, I'll let you go first.
I like Round Mushmore.
Okay.
I think you should have left that in. Did you?
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, baby.
Sometimes I have a hard time speaking. I either attribute that to cerebral palsy or concussions. So,
I got... All right. Let's
Come
go
on.
with Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison,
okay.
and The Wedding Singer.
Okay, that's 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. How many?
There are 4.
4 of them. Oh,
4,
When
yeah.
did they put the new one up there?
It's been there for a while.
Who was it? Clinton?
Clinton's not on Mount Rushmore.
Maybe Punch Drunk Love.
Really? Jesus, come on, man.
What?
Come on, man.
You haven't even seen it.
No, I haven't, but come on.
Yeah, good one. He's a different person.
I feel like Adam Sandler having Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison is a given when you talk about Mount Rushmore. You have no choice but to automatically put those on there. I think I would also say Wedding Singer.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 4th one is very difficult because
I think you're going to pick one that's the one where he's the devil or the son of the devil.
no, I don't like Little Nicky.
Okay.
I mean, I liked it as a kid, but
Yeah.
I in retrospect, seeing it years later, I hate his voice in it.
Yeah, it's annoying, but
Very
it's
annoying.
not annoying. It's his mother,
True. Very true.
the lovely and talented Ms. Reese Witherspoon.
If this would have been a few years ago, I may have said Waterboy
Oh,
as the 4th one.
yeah.
But I feel like seeing it a
That's
couple
piece
years
of
ago,
shit.
it didn't really hold up as well
No.
as I thought as a kid. As a kid, I found it very humorous. As an adult man, not so much. There are still some bits that I like Needle Dick is still funny. And I will say Ron Howard's brother in his scene in that movie is still one of my all-time favorite lines of all time. Something to the effect of, I am not what you would call a handsome man. I don't have charm, good looks, or a fully functional brain. And I laughed at that every time. I still laugh at that.
Yeah.
Great line. And of course, Waterboy has Captain Insano. But I think, this might be a little controversial, I think number 4 is either going to be...
Uh-oh. I think I know.
Do you? What do you think?
The remake of the football movie.
No, but that is a good choice, though.
Yeah.
It is a good choice. That one holds up pretty well, especially for a later Adam Sandler film. But I was going to go with either Big Daddy or 50 First Dates.
Okay. I don't know how controversial that is. I think those are 2 well-liked movies by
I
the
think so.
general public. Yeah.
And I feel like Big Daddy might have been sort of the beginning of the end of Adam Sandler movies, to where he started to go kind of up and down.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you really get any really good Adam Sandler movies until 50 First Dates and The Longest Yard. And I know you like Blended. I was not a fan of that one. Jack and Jill's a fucking piece of shit. And if anybody would
What's
ever
the
pick
one
that-
where somebody's in bed with their sister?
I think you're thinking of Joe Dirt.
No. I know that scene.
Yeah.
You're my sister. You're my sister.
Yes.
Um,
That's Joe Dirt.
no, but that's not what I'm talking about. Adam Sandler comes back to be somebody's dad. Maybe That's My Boy. Is that what that's called? Does that sound like a Sandler movie?
That's
it was just on TV.
I haven't seen that one, though.
Oh, okay. Well, then disregard the spoiler that I told you.
That's fine. But it's him and what's his face from Hot Rod.
Yeah,
who
yeah,
also
that
was on
guy.
SNL.
Yep.
I wanted to see that because it looks like it's actually funny.
There's funny parts.
I never seen its entirety, but I think Chuck and Larry might have been okay.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan.
Grown Ups seems like a pile of shit.
Grown Ups was okay.
I was watching one of them like halfway, like I tuned in halfway through it in a hotel recently somewhere on the road, and it just wasn't funny.
Mm-hmm.
Just wasn't funny.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like Rob Schneider was doing like some forced bit with like some attractive woman, and like all the dudes were like checking her out, but Rob Schneider wasn't into it. And then like an old woman walked up and he started making out with her. And
Yeah.
it was one of those things where it's like, again, maybe I would have laughed at it if I was like a fucking 10-year-old boy.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't funny.
I
don't know.
That's too bad.
I would like to see the entire clips with Austin, because I know in Austin's in like Grown Ups 2, I think.
Oh,
But,
yeah?
Yeah, but yeah, other than that, I think those are my choices. Either Big Daddy or 51st Dates gets the 4th spot in my Mount Rushmore.
Well, pick one. You're on the spot right now.
Fuck, man. Big Daddy.
Okay.
I watched it a lot as a kid.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame you.
But thank you for the question, Mitch. And now we're going to go and try to get in some questions from social media. We're not going to get to all of these. We might even do some of these on Patreon as a bonus, just to fill the time. But so if we don't get to you, we apologize, but we would have got to you for sure if you were on Patreon. So, without further ado, let's go to the questions. We're going to do some on Facebook, and first question, we're going to go with Mark Mackay, who says, tell the Hakal versus Greg saga.
Hakko.
Hakal,
Oh, okay.
not Hacko. Hakal. That is referring to Matt Hakal, who was a fan at AIW. I'm not going to tell it in incredible detail because I don't want to drag it out too long.
Well, plus you've done this before.
Yeah, but basically, Matt Hakal was a fan that would always come to the shows at AIW, and he really believed. And so I would sort of target him because I knew I can get a rise out of him, and then it would spark a rise out of the rest of the crowd. And it got to the point where he tried to fight me. There's a video that's sort of viral on YouTube. It's got, I want to say, over 100,000 views, where he tries to fight me with the Iron Curtain before a show, and I'm just trying to walk in the locker room. It got to the point where at one time, somehow, we were working out in the same gym, okay, because Matt started working out around this time. And I had someone tell me which car was his. And I went out and I put an 8x10 signed by me on his car and, said, best wishes, your favorite wrestler, Gregory Iron. And I remember he was really, really mad that I had given him a free 8x10, which it was a $10 value that he got free of charge. So I don't know why he would be upset about that. And he was getting so mad and so irritated that he left the shows for a long time, and eventually he wound up coming back. On his first show back, I cut this promo because I saw him in the crowd where I apologized to him in front of the crowd. The whole crowd was in on the bit. They knew what was going on with Matt Hakal. And I said something to the effect of, Matt, you and I are a lot alike, and I find you to be an inspiration. This man's been battling odds since the day he was born, much like me. Not a lot of people know this, but when Matt was born, his mother actually gave birth to him on the side of the highway. Yeah, true story. And, when I first heard that, it made perfect sense because, as we all know, most accidents do occur on the side of the highway. And then, of course, Matt Hakal tried to jump the guardrail. He at first thought I was legitimately apologizing. Of course, I wasn't. And this was also the same night that I spoiled Star Wars, that Han Solo died. So I was being a real piece of shit that night. But, you fast forward to Johnny Gargano's final independent match. It was me and Alex Daniels versus Johnny Gargano and Candace LeRae. And following that match, there's a pretty famous picture for fans of Cleveland wrestling of Matt Hakal being close to the ramp after. And I looked him in the eyes and I said, Matt, I'm sorry. And I shook his hand. After years of feuding, it was finally over. And that's sort of the brief history of me and Matt Hakal. Anything you'd like to add to that, Aaron?
No, I just felt like it was too much it was like a guy that was never going to get in the ring.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. But, Matt actually really is inspiring. I don't know if you've seen any of his posts. He's still lifting weights, and he's
jacked, ain't he?
pretty jacked,
Yeah.
man. So I don't know if Matt listens to the show, but shout out to Hakal. You've come a long way, bud, and thanks for putting up with me for so long in AIW and sort of making me a better bad guy in the process. But, yeah. Well, let's go to another question. Steve McGinnis asked, greatest wrestler ever from Ohio. What do you think the answer to that is?
I'd have to know some wrestlers from Ohio.
There's a lot to choose from.
Oof.
I know who it's not.
Yeah, it's definitely not Gregory Iron.
Okay, well, yeah, no, I would never say that anyways. I would say it's not Al Snow. Far from it.
Yeah.
Definitely not the greatest wrestler. If I had to say all-around success, if we're not just talking in-ring, what he's accomplished, it's got to be either Dolph Ziggler or The Miz, right?
Yeah, I could see that. I could see either of those.
Both former world champions.
Yeah.
Both have had very long careers within WWE.
This is from Ohio or from Cleveland?
Ohio.
Okay. Because I had thought of the loose cannon, Brian Pillman.
Yeah, that's a good.
But he was never world champion, so.
No, but I could see Pillman, like, based on, like, influence, too.
Yeah.
I think he's influenced a lot of people.
Dude, I'd put Johnny Gargano up on that list.
I wasn't going to say it because it was going to sound biased, but I think Johnny qualifies for sure.
Well, if you ever seen a match of his, then you could know we're not just being biased.
He's had several 5-star matches as rated by Dave Meltzer. Meltzer personally told him that he thought one of his matches was the greatest match in the history of WWE. And I'm not going to tell you what match that was. I'd like you people to guess what match Meltzer thought Johnny had that was the greatest match of WWE. To the point where I said, okay, I mean, that match was incredible, but I don't know if it was the greatest match in the history of WWE. Like, that covers a lot of ground. But, yeah, I also think probably in the running for greatest wrestler ever in Ohio would, again, I know you don't want to say it because, you might feel like there's a bias from you, but Rod Destiny probably ranks up there.
I'd give him I'd give him one of the top 10 contenders.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anybody else where we might be leaving out of the running here. Johnny, Dolph, Mox.
Yeah.
Mox probably ranks up there. I mean, former AEW champion, former WWE champion. The stuff he did with the Shield is legendary. I think Mox would probably have to rank up there.
I agree with that.
Yep. Now, if you're an older fan, you probably would say Johnny Powers. He's probably the most famous older wrestler from Ohio. I don't know if you would call him the greatest wrestler.
I know that old-timers always tell me, I went down to the Armory when I was a boy and I saw
Johnny Powers.
Johnny Powers.
Yep, never fails. That's always the go-to.
Johnny Powers, Bobo Brazil, and the Mighty Igor. Those are the ones I always hear.
Or who's the one with the P? Like something Perfo? You know what I'm talking about?
Perfo.
Something Perfo? Maybe I'm saying it wrong.
Pampiro Furpa?
Furpo? Yeah, maybe that's it.
Huh.
Is that the name?
I think so, or close to it.
What a weird-ass name.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Well, it's a different time in wrestling. We weren't around for that. But, yeah, Johnny Powers loves Cleveland so much that he moved to Canada and never came back. Wouldn't come to CAPW Night of Legends in 2007 because he wanted $10,000.
Whoa.
Can you believe that?
That's amazingly crazy.
I probably should be doing this, but, back in 2008, and I'm sure it's changed, and it probably helped that he was friends with the promoter, but Greg Valentine used to come into PWO for $500, okay, plus travel. And Johnny Powers wanted $10,000.
Yeah.
So just do the mathematics.
And which one of those guys broke Wahoo's leg?
True. I mean, listen.
Who retired Ron Garvin for 2 weeks?
It was longer than that.
I know.
But
It's not funny if I say it.
I
a
got you.
different way.
But yeah. So I think those are all worthy contenders for greatest wrestler ever from Ohio. So sorry I couldn't give you a concrete answer, Steve, but those are I think those are the easy ones to go to there. I'm going to go to a question from Instagram. Let me pull it up here. Where did it go? Where did it go?
Dana Brooke, she's from Ohio.
I don't know if she would be the greatest.
Oh, I just said she was from Ohio.
That is a fact, yes. Tatiana, who is a in-ring performer, asked, are there any wrestlers you recommend studying for storytelling in the ring? Well, I mean, there could be so many different answers to that. Really, it depends on which wrestlers you connect with as far as watching. I mean, in my personal opinion, two guys that come to mind, two very different guys that are great at storytelling in their own ways and told incredible stories together, would be Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. And Bret Hart, because I think like you can get a more simplistic type of storytelling when it comes to pro wrestling. You can really learn the bare mechanics of being a pro wrestler and how to do it in a realistic way. And I think a guy like Shawn Michaels, you can pick apart a lot of little things, a lot of transitions, and really that Shakespearean type pro wrestling that he really brought to the table as far as storytelling and creating moments. I think those are the two top guys for me. Guys like Steve Austin, who are constantly moving and creating the illusion that they're doing more than they actually are. Not to say that Steve wasn't doing a lot, but I think movement really creates an impression that you're doing more than you actually are. I mean, I just sort of reiterate what I just said. Aaron, for you, who are guys that come to mind do you think are great for storytelling?
If I'm going all time, I like Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah.
And I like Ric Flair. I like Arn Anderson. I like that he picked apart a body part. And, currently, though, I really like MJF and Darby Allin. I told you how much I like that match.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the story that they told. I thought it was a complete story that's still not finished, if that makes sense.
I get it.
So that chapter was a great chapter.
Yeah.
But I think they have much more ahead of them. I also like, big fan of Eddie Kingston.
Eddie Kingston is great. Eddie Guerrero, another Eddie. Eddie was sort of like the Latin Shawn Michaels in a lot of ways. And I think it goes under the radar. You know, Eddie really created and established that Latino heat persona in the span of about 5 years and made himself a legendary guy. Like 5 years is not a lot of time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
Technically, he really got his momentum going when he came back in 2002. So he sort of rebuilt his character in about 3.5 years, if you want to get technical. So, I mean, Eddie just completely legendary. Daniel Bryan Danielson, if we're talking about modern guys, just, I don't know. He's really defied logic as far as what he can do as an all-around performer for a guy that's only 5'8", and I think Bryan's a great guy to study. If Tatiana is a woman wrestler, not that it matters, female or male, but when you talk about female wrestlers, great ones, right off the bat, someone that doesn't get enough credit, I think, is Sarah Del Rey. If you want to go back in time a little bit,
Right.
Obviously, she's a trainer for WWE now, but go back and watch some old Sarah Del Rey matches, see how you can create realism. She was one of the first women wrestlers that could prove that you could hang with the guys as far as doing it on the independent level.
Mm-hmm.
Candace LeRae, much like the Johnny Gargano being the best wrestler in Ohio bias, I think Candace is one of the greatest wrestlers, man or woman, in the world. The way she thinks, the psychology behind the things she does, I think it's second to none. And any women sprout to the mind for you?
I was a big fan of Haley Hatred.
Yeah, Haley was good.
You know my thoughts on Veda Scott.
Mm-hmm.
I always liked the psychology she brought, but not just in the ring. It was the character, the whole character.
Sure.
The presentation of the character. She went all out, so she's one of my all-time favorites. I was thinking of Mickie James.
Oh yeah, how could I forget Mickie?
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Right?
Like her and Trish really had one of the first. I don't know. Like I remember for a long time, I was like, that was the best women's match in WrestleMania, and it even had like a botch finish. But I think when you consider the story that they let those girls have, which really up until that, the women never really had a story going into WrestleMania that people cared about. People were really emotionally invested in that match, and it was because of, you know, the characters in which Mickie, who only in about 6 to 8 months really created that emotional investment with hers, and Trish, who had established herself, you know, for the past 5 or 6 years at that point, is going from fitness model to, you know, one of the greatest in-ring workers in the company.
Yep.
So, Tatiana, I hope that helps you in your wrestling journey. Going back to some questions on Facebook, let's see, where do I want to go next? Here's a good question. Michael asks, how have you worked with / around someone you had absolutely no chemistry with? Aaron, I'm sure you've had this experience before. How do you work with or around someone you have no chemistry with?
You have to adjust to their level.
Yeah.
So, like, I remember Kevin Nash saying this before, that he was working with Too Cold Scorpio in WCW, and he said every night on the house show loop, Scorpio was just going too fast for him. And finally, they were like, talked in the back, and, the matches have sucked lately. And Scorp said, well, you got to catch up with me. You got to be faster.
Yeah.
And Nash was like, it's physically impossible for me to be as fast as you.
Yeah.
He said, but you can always slow down. And that made a lot of sense to me.
It makes perfect sense. And, it makes me think of some of the best advice I ever got from Johnny, which was, me getting frustrated with guys that, I don't think have proper positioning and timing and stuff. And Johnny told me, you got to bring guys up to your level.
Mm-hmm.
And I misinterpreted that originally. I thought that meant, well, if a guy sucks, or in this case, we don't have chemistry, what the fuck do I do? Like, you can't just bring them up to your level. Like, what if the guy's had 1 week in the business? What do you do? What you said, Aaron, is exactly what Johnny meant. You have to create the illusion that person is on your level. You're not actually bringing them up to your level. Hopefully they learn something in the process and they can elevate themselves a level or two. But you've got to come down for them to rise up. And so you have to teach them at a level in which they can understand, right? Like if you're teaching a kid how to read for the first time, you're not going to give them 4 or 5 syllable words, right? You're going to give them the most basic words to read and spell, and then...
That's why C-Spot Run is one of the all-time, go-to books for parents with kids that are just learning how to read.
Sure. It's like you have to build up to the bigger stuff, and that's how it is in pro wrestling. It's like, that's why when you go to wrestling school, it's so important to get those basic mechanics and those more simplistic maneuvers down pat. There's been so many times in wrestling schools in the past where, a kid will come in and just, we're working on lockups and chain wrestling, and they're saying, well, when do we get to go to the top rope? Yeah. When can I do a power bomb? It's like, we're not there yet. Like you've got to learn this basic shit first for various reasons, because not only does it help create realism in what you're doing, but for the safety of the person you're working with. If you can understand how to keep someone safe at these smaller levels with these more simplistic, intimate things, then you're going to realize how important it is to keep someone safe when you're flying off the top rope or you guys are falling off the top rope together. So it's to answer your question in short, Michael, you got to understand the level at which you're dealing with and adjust accordingly. And I think that also applies to when someone doesn't really know their strengths or weaknesses, and you can you can hear them. With talking to them, you can understand that they might not be at the level in which they think they are, and so they'll pitch ideas in which you have to not shut down, but create a way in which they think that they're getting their idea when they're not. Does that make sense?
Yes, I've been married twice.
Okay. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah,
That's right. You want something done, and she's against it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my go-to was to always go, this reminds me of that idea that you had.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden in her mind, she's the one that had the idea.
Right.
And she could take credit for it all day long, as long as I just got my way. And it's kind of fun to be sneaky about it.
I hope that helped you, Mike, and I know you've been training a lot recently. And
Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? He's
Yeah.
training, huh?
He's been training, yeah. Over in the Indiana area. So
Who's Deanna?
Moving on. Another Michael here on Facebook. Michael Kinch said, if you noticed the crowd was pretty dead and nonchalant mid-match, what would you do to get them back into the match, Aaron?
Oh, it's time to take a powder,
Mm-hmm.
maybe go around, rile up the fans a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's always the thing where you pound on the mat, you act like you're not wanting to pound on the mat, you know, and then the crowd gets into it and they start pounding.
Sure.
Or
Never
I think-
clap. Never do the clap.
yeah,
I mean, that's
Doesn't
just,
work.
It's not that it doesn't work. It's just it's like you're begging. You know what I mean? It's like
well, the other thing I hate is when people try to scare little kids. You know, we used to have people that would try to do that, you know, on television.
Mhm.
They'd go up and they'd get in a kid's face and take a lunge at him, and the kid doesn't even move.
Oh yeah.
Now you look like an asshole.
yeah. It works great if the kid is actually afraid of you.
Yeah, but 99% of these kids are not afraid of the, you know, performer that they're looking at.
I'll never forget that this kid that was not interested in wrestling was at a wrestling show, and he came over to the gimmick table, and he's talking to me. He goes, "Oh, you're a fake wrestler," and I go, "Okay, man, just get out of here unless you want to buy something." And he kept talking shit, and there was a video playing on a DVD player of wrestling happening, and one of my matches was on the DVD player, and I pointed to him like, "Oh, like how's that fake right there?" Like, and he's like, "That's fake because of this," and he's like, "My brother told me it's fake because of this." And at one point, I said to him, "You know what? One time I had a concussion with brain bleeding, and I almost died. Is that fake?" He's like, "No, you probably just did the stunts wrong." And I was like, "Okay, get out of my face." Dude. I was gonna punch this little kid in the face. So it was just awkward. And then
You're never
going
going
to
to win that argument.
No, absolutely not. You just might as well give up. It's like, you know, you with your ex-wives.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Like, if the crowd's dead, you have to, what it comes down to is like experience and listening and understanding. And I think that's sort of a problem sometimes. Most kids these days just memorize stuff, which memorization is fine, but you also have to be able to adapt and change on the fly. And you have to try to understand what the crowd wants and understand what type of crowd you're in front of to adapt accordingly. You know, what a crowd wants in Kentucky might not be the same as what a crowd wants in Philadelphia. And what a crowd wants in Philadelphia might not be the same as what a crowd wants in Ontario. And what, you know, a crowd wants in Ontario might not be what they want to see in Chicago. So you just have to sort of understand the type of wrestling fan you're dealing with and adjust accordingly. So that's what it comes down to. I hope that answers your question, Mr. Kinch. And let's see, I'm going to go to another question here from social media. Todd Benoit says, if you had to live with an animated family, who would it be? What's your animated family of choice to live with, Aaron?
Oh, boy. Maybe the Flintstones.
Why?
That Wilma. Never mind.
So your idea to live with the Flintstones is to make a move on Wilma and then ruin the family relationship and then get into a fight with Fred?
Probably. I was just, kind of a dick, so.
Wow.
Me, I am.
Oh, you're a dick.
Yeah.
You're definitely the dick in this situation.
Right. So, I apologize to the Flintstones ahead of time, Fred and all the gang. We'd probably be going to, what was it, the Buffalo?
Yeah.
They were at a Buffalo Club or something.
Sure. Yeah, he likes to bowl. You
Yeah,
guys could go
yeah.
bowling, but I mean, you're going to ruin that when
I know.
you.
I'm going to ruin it all. It's just inevitable. It's got to happen. I wouldn't mind being part of the Simpsons.
I was going to say that, but then my fear would be like being choked by Homer or something. Also, oftentimes they don't seem like the smartest family, so I feel like that's not the brightest decision.
Yeah, but then you'd be the smart one. You'd look so much smarter.
Being from a family that's kind of dumb,
Yeah.
it didn't really do me much good to be the smarter one. I'm still stuck within a dumb family, and I still am. So,
Well, then, what's your animated family?
I don't know if I have the right choice because my first instinct was to say The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Because I love The Simpsons. Can I just be part of the Ninja Turtles? Does that count as a family? They're
I'll
all
accept
brothers.
it, yeah.
They're all brothers, and I could be under Master Splinter, and he could teach me how to be a ninja. I'm not a teenager anymore, but the turtles shouldn't be teenagers at this point anymore. They were born in like 1987 in cartoon form. So,
What about the Family Circus?
from the comic?
Yeah, they used to call those cartoons.
No, not interested in being part of that family.
No? Why not?
No. What other family gonna pick? Marmaduke or something? What the fuck? Who picks a Sunday morning comic to be a part of their family?
Yeah, I'm just asking.
Jesus. So weird. What was that one comic, Mary Worth? Want to hang with her family? Those comics fucking sucked. Remember, I would
Connie.
I would never understand especially when they have them during the week and they're black and white and they have just 3 little blocks to read, right? And it's like you don't even understand what's going on if you don't follow it because it was like a soap opera comic type thing. Over dramatic bullshit. Man, now you got me pissed off even just thinking about Mary Worth. I wonder if she still even is a comic.
What do you think Mary's worth?
Tell you, any Mary isn't worth shit.
Oh.
First and foremost, tell you that.
Except for Mary that signed up on Patreon. We love you.
I don't think there's a Mary on Patreon, but if there is, we do love you. Yes.
What about Marianne?
Who?
Marianne,
From Gilligan's Island?
the professor and Marianne.
Yeah, I like Marianne.
Okay.
Always more of a Marianne guy than
Me
Ginger.
too. We
Ginger is
probably
just
talked about this.
overrated.
Yeah.
But that wasn't part of the question. So yeah, I think my answer is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't. I'm trying to just think of another nice cartoon family that I would want to be a part of. One that wouldn't hurt me, teach me proper manners.
Why do you have to learn these things?
I don't know.
Aren't you a 38-year-old man?
I'm just saying. I'm thinking in terms of a family that would treat me better than my own did.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I wouldn't want to be with the Simpsons. It just wouldn't work out.
Okay.
Could I be with the Flanders? I don't want
Yeah.
to be with the Flanders, no.
Yeah, Rod and Todd.
No, too much religion for me. Okay, let's go to another question. Okay, James Johnson wants to know next week's lottery numbers. Hold on, I'm getting hold on. Rubbing my temple here. I'm getting a psychic reading. Okay. Your numbers are 6, 9, and that's it. 6, 9.
Oh, well, it's a 3-digit. Maybe a 4 in front of that 6.
Nope. I think it's just I can't get the rest of the numbers. Maybe they're not
I
coming to me.
think 469.
Justin Bonifield says, "Give us."
Hey, hold on. I'm telling you, you got to go with 53.
Why?
Because that's the number I picked.
No.
And 11.
No. Don't listen.
24.
Justin Bonifield says, give us a PWO story. And I said, in response to this, give me some potential story options. Justin replied, I didn't catch much of it, but maybe stories from big shows, talent brought in, etc., or just total what the fuck moments that you may not have shared on air. Anything you can think of that we haven't talked about on the podcast here. Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think. I don't know if we talked about. We have mentioned on the show Aaron working with Raven at Resolution 3, I believe it was. But I don't think we ever talked about the controversy about with Raven's return to PWO, where he had to work with Crimson and Matt Justice in Streetsboro, Ohio. And what I do remember as part of this experience was I had to drive Raven, and my windshield wipers did not work. And so he made me stop at a Walgreens, and he bought me Rain-X, which I didn't understand the concept of Rain-X.
Yeah.
And it was pouring rain, so it definitely helped. And he said, yes, my first Rain-X young boy. And so that's what he kept calling me, my Rain-X young boy. And he always thinks that I'm faking cerebral palsy. For some reason, he really took a liking to me. So I had no problems with Raven on the way to that show. But apparently, if I can remember correctly, he did not want to lose to Crimson and or Mad Justice. Do you remember anything about this?
I remember specifically he didn't want to come back unless he was brought back as a babyface full time. He said people were going to just cheer him anyways. He didn't want to be a heel.
What a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
I think.
And then, and his big thing was, look, everybody wants to see the DDT, and they're going to pop for it. So you may as well just make me a babyface because I got to play the hits. So.
And come in full time for some reason.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the one time, not related to PWO, but me and Zach Cowan had to work the Headbangers in Detroit, and it was awful. One of the worst experiences of my life. I hated the Headbangers for a long time because of it. I don't think I'm still particularly crazy about them, but I did recently reconnect with them in Indiana at an autograph signing, and me and Zach and the Headbangers and I believe Jimmy Wang Yang spent some time. I think Robbie from the what the fuck were they? They wore the kilts in WWE. What was the name of their team?
The Highlanders.
The Highlanders, yeah. Robbie from the Highlanders was with us too. We went to a karaoke gimmick going on in the hotel in which the convention that we were at was happening. And the Headbangers were just telling us stories and stuff. Some of them, particularly coming from Mosh, made me think, kind of makes me dislike you even more. But for the most part, they were being cool and telling us stories, and I was like, maybe I like these guys a little more. I don't know. But point of that rambling is the Headbangers were supposed to work us in a tag team title match, and so when the promoters weren't around, Mosh and Thrasher are trying to sell us on the idea that, like, hey, if we beat you guys for the tag belts tonight, we can keep them up until Cobo Hall, because this was in Detroit, and there was going to be a big show happening in Cobo Hall, which, of course, is where the famous Sumo Monster Truck battle happened between the Giant Hulk Hogan at Halloween Havoc 95, but also many famous wrestling matches happened in Cobo Hall back in the day. So it was a big deal that XICW, the promotion that we were working for that night, was running that venue. Headbangers pitched that they win the tag team titles, that we could chase them back to the tag team titles and then beat them back for the titles in a steel cage at Cobo Hall.
Yeah.
This show was in March. The Cobo Hall show would have been in October.
Oh, wow.
So instead of just wrestling the one show in which they were booked for that night, they wanted to come back every month, defend the belts, and wrestle us at Cobo Hall. So they were trying to drag 1 month of bookings out to, 7 months.
Yeah.
So yeah, pro wrestling. It's an interesting business for sure. It's kind of a PWO story. I'm sure we got more in the can that we'll get to eventually. I know there's definitely some stuff in the future I want to talk about in depth. Maybe we'll start reviewing some of these shows soon, and more things will pop into the brain. So, Justin, I hope that helps you with the PWO stories. Let's see what else we got here. Looking through the questions, and Chris asked, if you weren't a professional wrestler, what other career would you want to pursue that makes you happy? So, Aaron, if you weren't in professional wrestling, what would you want to do as a career?
I wanted to be a writer when I was young, like write sports columns.
Yeah.
Or be a sportscaster.
Mm-hmm.
I like what I do now. I probably wouldn't change that.
Working at the Center for Adults with Developmental Disabilities.
Yes. So I'm happy with my station in life.
It's a very fulfilling job. Of course, I worked there at one point as well.
And Greg wasn't fulfilled anymore.
That's not true. They wouldn't let me take time off to do motivational speaking in Brownsville, Texas.
And they got mad that you washed your clothes there.
I did once wash my clothes there, and they were not happy that I didn't ask if I could wash the clothes. They have a washer and dryer specifically for the clients. I used said washer and dryer. Listen, I was trying to save some fucking time, all right? I was already at work. They have a washer and dryer. Why can't I wash my clothes? What's the big deal?
Yeah. Remember that time that
Nope. I don't remember that.
Oh.
What were you going to say?
When the guy shit his pants and you just took his pants off him and threw them directly into that washing machine?
I cleaned the pants out a little bit.
You did not. There was shit all in the washing machine afterwards.
Oops.
We were sitting across from each other at lunch, as we normally did. Mm-hmm. And there was a group of us. And Greg was across from me, eye to eye. And this guy that works in the area with the washing machines, he busts into the staff lounge. And he looks over at the supervisors, and he's like, I don't know what happened. Somebody put some dirty pants and some dirty underwear in the washing machine, and now there's poop everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I looked up at Greg because I wanted to make the comment, he called the shit poop.
Right. Great reference.
But I couldn't make that reference because Greg's eyes were piercing and staring me down. You know, his eyes got real big and he's looking at me and he mouths the words, that was me. And the supervisor's like, well, we're going to get to the bottom of this and find out who's throwing shitty drawers into the washing machine.
Uh-huh. So then I was immediately like, oh, I better go just fess up to this real quick. And
Greg was like, yeah, it was one of our clients.
Yep, I definitely accused the clients of it.
Yeah.
Over on Twitter, Greg Cherry asked, why is Sheetz so much better than Wawa? Aaron, before I answer this, what is your experience with Wawa?
None.
Never.
Never experienced.
All the times you went to Philly or Jersey, you never went to Wawa.
Never once.
Mm.
Never that.
It's unfortunate. Well, okay, so since you don't know about Wawa, for someone that's never had Sheetz, why is Sheetz delicious? And why is it not just a gas station but a restaurant that just happens to serve gas on the side?
The food is good there. I mean, if you're looking for good fast food, usually Sheetz is the place to go.
I'm sorry. If you're looking for good 5-star restaurant quality food.
It's good fast food. Let's not get crazy.
They serve it to you fast, but for a 5-star restaurant, it's pretty fast.
You ever had the steak?
At Sheetz?
Yeah.
My steak, egg, and tater burrito, of course, yeah.
Right. That ain't no ribeye. Done medium rare.
It tastes kind of like ribeye to me, actually.
You're ribbing me.
Nope. It has an incredible selection of items on the menu. The salad has no right to be as good as it is. The turkey wrap is very delicious. If you're working on counting your calories and carbs,
Wrap has the same amount of calories and carbs as a piece of bread.
yeah, I get it.
Okay.
I never said it didn't.
All right. You said, well, if you're counting your carbs and calories,
You didn't let me finish.
Oh.
You didn't let me finish, you son
All
of
right.
a bitch.
Go ahead. You finish away right
I'm
all
just
over
saying
me.
that, you can get a nice turkey or chicken wrap for around 300 or 400 calories, which is pretty good when you're eating on the run and you got to get your food quick, but also want to eat at a 5-star quality restaurant that also happens to serve gas on the side. Nicole knows what I'm talking about. But why is Sheetz better than Wawa? It's the little things. It's the friendly atmosphere in Sheetz. It's the fact that when I go to buy and print out my ticket from what I purchased on the computer screen, it actually tells me the price of what I'm paying for, whereas Wawa never does that. Okay, I will say this. Wawa. I've never admitted this publicly. Wawa has gotten a little better. I will say where Wawa has an edge over Sheetz, they have a great burger. Wawa does have a great burger. The Sheetz burger, maybe I had a burger on a bad day, but the Sheetz burger does not taste like a burger. Would not recommend. Also, Wawa has Sheetz beat in the shake department. The shakes at Sheetz are sort of thin. Shakes at Wawa, not only are they thick and just glorious, but they have a wide selection, particularly of cheesecake shakes, which you cannot even get one cheesecake shake at Sheetz.
I like the sound of a cheesecake shake.
It's delicious, and you get them in various flavors.
They got blueberry?
I don't know.
They got strawberry.
Probably.
Okay.
But Sheetz is just superior in price and overall quality, and they have the mac and cheese bites, which are just tremendous. Wawa has increased their selection a little bit over the years. They have improved slightly. It pains me to admit that, but Sheetz is always king, and if you're just living off Wawa, you've never had Sheetz, well, then your life sucks. So try Sheetz if you ever come to the Midwest, because it reigns supreme. Moving on. Let me go back to a question from Facebook.com. And this question is from Mike Noren. He asked 3 favorite side characters from The Simpsons. Aaron?
Side characters.
Side
so that doesn't mean like the family.
Right, outside of the family. It's
Okay.
tough call. There's so many great choices from...
Montgomery Burns.
Okay.
Probably Chief Wiggum.
Okay.
Maybe Nelson.
Nelson's great. That's 3, though.
Yeah, I know. But you could go on. I could go on. I'll give you like Reverend Lovejoy.
Yeah, Reverend Lovejoy's great. I was going to say right off the bat Chief Wiggum,
Yeah.
because I think he's just ridiculous. So Chief Wiggum's great. Ralph is also awesome.
Yeah.
Ralph's bits have always been good over the years, so I might have to also go with Ralph. It's just hard to just narrow it down to 3 because there's so many great characters on the show. But Chief Wiggum, Ralph, and I've always had a soft spot for Troy McClure.
Oh, yeah.
And, that was one of the parts that sucked when Phil Hartman died. It was that Troy McClure character kind of died with it. But, and Phil Hartman was awesome. But, I don't know, if I didn't pick Troy McClure, maybe let's go like living characters. Reverend Lovejoy is a great choice. Potentially, was it Dr. Hubert? Is that the doctor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Stupid. I can't even do his laugh.
Did you ever watch The Cosby Show?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's... Yeah.
Right. Yeah. One of those people is a rapist, though.
Oh, okay.
Which one is it?
William.
Huh?
William Cosby.
Yeah.
I guess people call him Bill.
Yeah, right. Couldn't remember it for sure.
Well, I don't know. I think he got everything got overturned. Isn't he out of prison?
Yeah, it was overturned on a technicality, though.
Yeah.
He still admitted to all of that.
Oh.
It was just the way in which he admitted to it, I guess, was unlawful. I can't remember the details. Just sort of fucked up. That's a whole other story, though. But yeah, I think those are my three favorite characters. I also
Krusty's good.
Krusty.
And I like
Krusty's great.
Sideshow Bob.
Sideshow Bob is great. You can't just
Sideshow
pick one.
Mel.
Yes. Oh man, now I'm just like thinking of all these. I mean, I always liked Lenny and Carl.
Lenny and Carl are great.
Yeah. Fuck. How can you just pick three? Like Mo always was amazing.
Mo is really good.
I loved when he had the Flamin' Mo's. You can actually drink those at Universal Studios, which is amazing. Fuck, man.
I used to drink that Flamin' Dr. Pepper.
Wait, is that a real thing?
Yeah, that was me and Hito.
Mm.
We would go to the bar and get these Flamin' DPs. So it was a shot, and it was dropped into like a small glass of beer, and then they sets it on fire.
Ooh.
And then you got to drink it all.
See, that's different than the Flaming Mo at Universal because they can't actually set it on fire.
Yeah.
Because it's not alcohol. So what they do is they put like, what is it? The ice, dry ice in it. So it like creates the illusion that it's bubbling and
That's weak.
and nah, it's still cool though. It's
Not
still
really.
cool. And obviously you have the Krusty Burger there, and just I kind of just want to go back to Florida just to experience Springfield again. It was great. It was like a dream come true. When I saw Bart Simpson walking around with Homer, I was just all my dreams were coming true.
Were they animated or were they in like
Dudes in costumes.
mascot type costumes?
Yeah. And
And that's over for me.
I made sure I walked up to Bart and I was just like, Bart, I love you. And I said it with just the purest of heart because I meant it.
And he said, "Who the hell are you?"
And he didn't say that. We hugged and it was great. But I think we have time for one or two more questions. All-time favorite opponent. All-time favorite opponent that wasn't called Dick Justice. Dick Justice does rank up there. I think the easy answer for me is, of course, Johnny Gargano. Outside of Johnny, I'm trying to think of someone that like. Let me pick someone that I don't have like a friendship with. Someone that I could wrestle.
Ben Boone.
Ben is my friend.
What?
Okay. I don't know. A couple guys that come to mind that I always had chemistry with that were not the closest of friends. Kobe Durst in Canada, I've always found to be incredibly fun to wrestle with, and we have great chemistry. He's one of my favorite opponents and was a part of one of my best moments a couple years ago in Alpha 1 when I won the Alpha Male Championship, which is their main title for Ethan Page's promotion up there. Silas Young was a great opponent. Only got to wrestle him once, but that was always good. Not necessarily an opponent at all times. We did wrestle a couple times, but working with Anthony Green was something I really cherished. And my matches with Zach Allen, I had 2 matches with Zach Allen in the last 15 years, and those always meant a lot to me, not only because he was who I wanted to emulate and become as a professional wrestler, but he's now one of my, well, he's a friend. So he was trying to pick not friends, but he's one of my closest friends. And that always helps with the chemistry. Aaron, for you, who do you think were your favorite people to work with? Maybe not just as opponents, but in general.
Anybody who was willing to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, like with managing people, like I always had like a really good bond with podcast superstar Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was a point we were doing a battle royal one time. He was in the battle royal, and I was on the outside, maybe managing him, giving him guidance. And I was trying to figure out a way for him, because he was going over, and I tried to figure out a way that would be real shitty, like for him to stay in the ring. I didn't want him rolling under the bottom rope. That's been done to death.
Sure.
So I looked under the ring and I found a giant roll of duct tape. So I brought Jake over like he was going to slide under the bottom rope, but instead I taped his feet together to the bottom rope
Okay.
and his arms together to the top rope where he was outstretched. So nobody could eliminate him. And people kept trying to. And eventually we told him, just start beating him. Just start beating the shit out of him. Then I'll have to let him go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then, they started beating the shit out of him.
That's actually a great idea.
Yeah. And then I cut the tape, and then they went to eliminate him. And he ended up maybe like a Shawn Michaels type of deal, 1 foot, came back in and eliminated the two other fellas.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
So that was good chemistry there.
I mean, like in commentary, I think the person you always worked best with was Joe Dombrowski. For
Yeah,
sure.
really worked well with Joe. Who was the other guy? There was a couple others. I liked working with Matt Wadsworth, but a lot of times he was in his phone. So, I'd rattle off a joke and I'd be waiting for him, because I always set myself up.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for him to pipe in with the comeback, and he'd just be in his phone. So sometimes that wasn't always my favorite thing. But he was very, very good, very knowledgeable. He had everybody's match statistics, stored on his phone or something.
Yeah.
So he knew, Eddie Kingston is 13-4. Since out of his last 17 matches here in AIW, stuff like
What
that.
a loser just to memorize pointless wrestling facts. Jeez.
Yeah,
Life.
Greg. But also, I worked with Pedro. I liked my chemistry with him.
Oh, yeah. Pedro, I don't think he got the opportunity to do enough commentary.
Right.
Because he was pretty good at it.
And, of course, Vic.
Yep. Can't
Vic
forget about
Joseph. Yeah. Boy, man, I messed with that guy the first couple times, we were doing commentary.
Mhm.
It was just like ribs galore. And the first couple times we did it, it was like dark matches or maybe just for DVD or something.
Yeah.
So it wasn't going to be on TV. So I would just give him one-word answers and see if he could, cover up in a stress situation.
Yeah.
And he passed with flying colors. He's great.
He strived to survive, and he did. And now he's in NXT. And what are you doing? You're doing a fucking podcast with me.
Yeah.
So who's the real winner? You suck, Vic. What a joke of a man.
I still like you, Vic. And by the way, hopefully them tickets come in soon.
Okay. Last question, and then we're going to wrap this up.
Hold on.
What?
I do want to put this out there real quick. I'd like to thank you.
Me?
Yep.
Why?
Because we just had a delicious meal when we were off air. Man, that was a really good burger. I never really respected Red Robin.
Red Robin.
Oh, it was yum tonight. And I want to thank you. And I know I ordered it, and I know that, gosh, it was embarrassing. So embarrassing. I left my wallet in my other pants.
Yep. I don't know the last time you paid for a meal, but it's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
It's my wallet. I can't find it right now. I think it's in my other pants. My other gray sweatpants. that I
Gotcha.
have.
Yeah. No, Red Robin's great, and if it wasn't for Atticus Cogar, I wouldn't know how great Red Robin was. So thank you, Addie. I love and miss you. I miss your smile. I miss your scent. I miss your taste. Moving on, last
hold
question.
on, I'm getting a
What?
word. Yeah, Jordan in the truck says, there's no way you could miss Atticus's smile and scent and taste, because those things are all fallacies. Lies.
Anyways, Chris Chris Dare asks if you could change one outcome to a historic match. I put it in quotations because obviously it's subjective. What would you change, and what would you think moving forward the storylines would go from that change? I think the easy answer would be the streak would not have ended.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say that. It was time for the streak to be over.
No,
Get over it, dude.
I think I would have waited until Roman, and Roman would have been the guy to end the streak, and it would have paid off better going forward now where Roman is, because he can always go back to, hey, me and the guy that ended the streak. The Brock thing at first, it seemed like it was good that he ended the streak, and they kept bringing it up, and it got heat, and it was like, oh, well, someone that matters now is going to be Brock. So, like, he's got all this momentum. Now he's not losing. He beat The Undertaker, so someone of importance is going to beat him, and they could say they beat the guy who beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. And then that guy that beat him first was Goldberg. So then it didn't matter. So I would change that. I don't know what the stories would look like. We could really draw that out and talk about where it would go. But if I had to pick another one right off the top of my head, I'd go back to SummerSlam 93 and Lex Luger to win the WWF Championship, because I think it's dumb that they never paid it off. Even if they didn't think he was the guy,
right?
I think they could have let him run with it for a couple months, at least to Survivor Series or something, and just gave it a shot there. I mean, they put so much into Lex Express.
Yeah.
I think...
Yeah, I like that answer by you.
I think you do Lex Luger winning the belt at SummerSlam, and you could still do the same scenario where he's, hoisted up on shoulders and everything, and people are celebrating with him in the ring, except for, it makes fucking sense because he didn't win by countout.
Yeah, well, he ended up getting that when he went back to WCW and beat Hogan.
Right.
At, what was that, Hog Wild or something?
He beat him on the Nitro before in Detroit,
that's right.
And then he lost it back at Road Wild the following Saturday or Sunday. But I think I would have Luger keep it until Survivor Series, and then just do a rematch with Yoko, and Yoko wins the belt back. So that way you could set up the shit with Undertaker still, and just change the idea of the foreign fanatics versus the All-Americans in the main event. It's just two different teams, different captains rather, and go with something different. Undertaker is still on the one team, so it could be some sort of Undertaker-themed team. And then I don't know what you do with the other team. What about you? What historic match would you change, Aaron?
I think I'd go Goldberg-Nash. That streak ends.
It's a good call.
Yeah. I didn't like that.
Okay, so...
You know who the guy I was pulling for?
Who's that?
To beat Goldberg? Chris Benoit.
Wow. It's a good choice.
Yeah, well, I just thought, nobody would think that was going to happen.
Right.
And that would really put Benoit over. And I thought he'd be good as WCW champion.
So when would have Benoit beaten Goldberg? So if he doesn't lose in December of 1998, when does Goldberg lose to Chris Benoit?
Yeah, and shortly after, because I think the streak had kind of run its course by then.
How shortly?
Well, what do we got?
Do you think it wasn't the right time for the streak to end, or do you think Kevin Nash was the wrong guy to beat him?
I don't know that Nash was the wrong guy to beat him. I just didn't like the finish of it. I didn't like the cattle prod or the shock stick or whatever it was. Yeah, because I wanted Goldberg to just lose.
Yeah.
And I thought the shock stick was whack as fuck.
Well, it didn't work when the Mountie was doing it 7 years earlier.
Yeah.
Go figure, it didn't work in 1998 either.
Right. And another one I would have is I'd have the Rockers title reign count. The one where they won maybe at a house show or something, or a taping.
Saturday Night.
Yeah, that was it.
The rope broken, so they never were able to air it.
Yep.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
I like that decision.
Yeah. I'd just give it to him for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All good choices. But, Chris, I hope you liked those answers, and I hope you guys liked this Q&A edition of the podcast. And if you want to hear some of the extended version of this, check it out right now, patreon.com/ironwrestling for $3. And, of course, you got this probably at least a day early, but I think I had this up on Monday. I'm not sure. I'm looking into the future, but that's why I didn't have a guest this week. I'm very busy this week, so I wouldn't be able to edit the podcast on Tuesday early like usual. So, yeah, you get it a day early. You get it extended most of the time. So check us out, patreon.com/irononwrestling. And, of course, follow us on social media at Iron on Wrestling, and follow me on social media. Find me at Gregory Iron on Twitter, at Gregory_Iron on Instagram, and I'm also on Facebook, facebook.com/TheHandicappedHero. Go to my Pro Wrestling Tees, prowrestlingtees.com/Gregory Iron. You can find my shirts, you can find Aaron shirts, you can find a Rod Destiny shirt. Iron on Wrestling shirts are available there. Make sure you reach out to me on my social media platforms about pro wrestling, motivational speaking gigs, and, of course, pro wrestling seminars. I'm available for all of those things. Reach out. We can work something out. And find me on Cameo. It's the holiday season. If you want a holiday shout-out for someone that you love or someone that you hate, you want me to talk shit to them, hit me up on Cameo. Just a search for Gregory Iron. Aaron, what do you want to plug?
Well, I'm at Fair to Air on Twitter, at Fair to Aaron on Instagram. But really, I had one more question.
What's that?
Yeah, this question come in just recently, and it says, Gregory, do you believe that the moon is made of green cheese?
No, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Okay. And then a follow-up question is, if it was made of cheese, would you eat it?
I mean, I would have to take a rocket ship to go there. I could just eat cheese on Earth.
What if it was made of barbecue spare ribs?
I'm not really interested in that.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah, well, I was just curious.
Okay.
Like a cat.
Uh-huh.
That's why they call me Whiskers.
I don't think they do. You called yourself that. That is it until next week. Thanks for tuning in, and we appreciate your support and your love, and I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I know Aaron and I did. We
yeah. Oh, we
together.
didn't even talk about that.
We didn't talk about that. The food was delicious.
Thank you.
And I will make sure to make food for you again next year because
Nope,
I'm quite the amazing cook.
You can just keep buying from Red Robin.
I don't mean to brag about my cooking skills, but that's it. Love you guys. We'll see you for episode 132, and check out that bonus content. I think, actually, we should have a bonus episode up right now reviewing the show Heels. So check that out, and until next week, here's a succulent, warm, loving kiss goodbye.
Oh, look, there's my wallet. It's in the front pocket.
Motherfucker.